What up, Toshi? Welcome back to a new Stella Sora video. We have a dev letter from Yostar, yours truly. I was not expecting this. I just happened to see this when I was scrolling on Reddit, and I was like, you know what? I'm up. Let me go ahead and talk about it. First of all, they are giving us a 10 pull, which you can just claim literally right now in the mail. Awesome. We'll take it, right? More pulls for the upcoming character or this character if you're still rolling on the banner. This is nice, right? Now, hopefully this letter, right, addresses everything we would want to see with the game. Spoiler alert, the top comment proves that it doesn't. So, I don't know. I'm going to read it for myself and make sure that it does not. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I'm hoping that they address the gem income issue. And I think that's pretty much it. I think the gacha rates are fine, but the gem income issue is definitely the worst offender right now in terms of how often you're going to be pulling characters in this game. And let's take into consideration if they're going to be doing a lot of banners, very fast paced, thrown at you. Considering we've gotten a second limited character, not second limited, but a second character very close to the release of Chitose and the launch of the game, we might be getting a lot of characters thrown at us fast. Anyways, let's get into this letter because I've been rambling and yapping for long enough, and I will do much of that as I read through this letter. Current game issues and planned improvements. Dear Tyrant, thank you for your continued support of Stella Sora. This is my favorite gacha game right now, so yeah, I will continue supporting it as long as I enjoy the game. It has been nearly 3 weeks since the official launch. I've only played for like 2 weeks to be fair, and during this time, we've received a lot of feedback and suggestions from players. We truly appreciate everyone's enthusiasm for the game and want to express our heartfelt gratitude. Do they really though? Do they actually? I feel like this is just like, trying to butter up the people reading this. I don't think this is true, personally. Recently, well, we'll see, right? Recently, players have raised concerns about unclear descriptions, a lack of user-friendly features, and game balance issues. Game balance meaning Shia being really, really strong right now compared to Chitose. We'll see if they talk about that. We sincerely apologize for any negative impact that these may have had on your gaming experience. We'd like to take our opportunity to address these issues and share our plans for future improvements. All right, I'm going to be real here. I don't think they should nerf Shia. I saw some people recommending that they should nerf Shia. Why would you nerf Shia? Just buff Chitose. That is the most, logical outcome to, honestly, the most logical solution for this situation is just buff Chitose. That's all they need to do. Don't nerf Shia. That's dumb, right? Don't nerf Shia. It's a PvE game with a little bit of PvP with leaderboards. But why would you nerf a character in a PvE game? That's just very silly. At least in my opinion, it's silly. Since the game's official launch, this is about cheats, right? Because people have been cheating on the leaderboards. Many players have reported abnormal scores in the Boss Blitz rankings and expressed concerns about future game modes. Please be assured that we regularly remove suspicious records from the rankings and ban any accounts that use cheats or third-party tools. We will also closely monitor upcoming game modes to uphold fair play. If you notice any player using third-party tools that undermine the game's fairness, please report it using in-game supports or by contacting us at, the yostar email. Cool. So now they're going to make sure that all of those nasty bots are not being used, or hopefully not being used, in future iterations of this game mode, Boss Splits, and then other game modes in the future. I have played a little bit of Boss Splits. I'm not at the point now where I'm competing with people on the leaderboard, but I do understand for those of you that are very keen on getting high scores and you're very competitive, right? You're that type of player where you want some form of PvP, and this is like the only form of PvP in this game, so you want to make sure that it is actually a fair ground for everyone involved, yourself included. I understand why you'd be upset with this, and it is nice that they addressed it. Cool. It's definitely been an issue I've seen very, very often in Reddit. Regarding the issue of boss enemies' resilience break status, we've identified an issue where certain boss enemies do not properly enter resilience status after receiving damage. I don't think I've experienced this, but then again, I play the whole game in auto. So maybe I just didn't notice it. We have confirmed this problem internally, and a fix is currently in progress. Due to ongoing events like Boss Blitz, which feature rankings. We plan to implement the fix before the start of a new Boss Blitz event in December to ensure fairness for all players. It makes a ton of sense. This seems like one of those things where it's just a bug, right? So they're just fixing the bugs that are present with some of the bosses. This happens, right? The game, launch issues are prone to happen. So it is nice that they're addressing, that. Regarding unclear descriptions in Ascension game mode. Ascension is the where you get like the records and stuff. Things we feel we have realized that some descriptions in Monolith research, such as potential boost and radiant miracle, don't accurately reflect the in-game system, so that they leave out the maximum number of times their effects can be activated. We apologize for not addressing this sooner and for any confusion it may have caused. In a future update, we'll add the missing details and make further improvements to the related descriptions. I don't read any of this, I'll be honest. You'll be able to check the updated information in the Monolith research to better plan your Ascension progress. I will be real, I thought most players just tapped on whatever had the thumbs up when you're choosing your cards and everything, and I thought most players played the game in auto. I thought that's what everyone did, right? But lo and behold, that is not the case. Ascension is a core part of Stella Sora's gameplay. I love the roguelike game mode, by the way. I love it. I think it's an amazing addition to this game's overall gameplay, and I love it. It's my favorite part of playing the game, is going through the roguelike. And we'll continue to listen to your feedback and keep improving your experience. Thank you. Thank you. Regarding Shia's mechanics, oh no, don't nerf. Dude, after I got tier 5 without spending money, if they nerf this character, I'm going to crash out. Do not nerf this character. Don't do it. Don't do it. I think I saw somewhere in the paragraph where it said they were thinking about tuning the character. Don't tune the character. Please don't do it. And if you say, oh, it was a bug, so we are, fixing this bug because it was not working as intended. Don't do that. It's going to be like the new Villette situation in Genshin Impact. Don't do it. You're going to make more people mad than you are going to make happy when you do this. Because some people are complaining. Don't do this. Don't. Just leave it and buff Chitose is all you have to do. Alright, let me read it. We received a lot of questions about Shia's mechanics. In some cases, having Shia as your main tracker can result in damage outcomes that exceed our original intentions. Here we go. We're glad to see players actively sharing builds and discussing strategies, which is a very core part of the online community, as always, right? After careful consideration, the team has decided not to make any adjustments to team mechanics or stats. Whew. Thank goodness they understand. Do not nerf the character. Just buff other characters. All you got to do. Easy fix. We truly appreciate the effort players put into finding optimal builds and team comps. Your discovery showed dedication, creativity, and a real passion for the game. I'll be honest, I'm not as passionate as those players are for the overall, gameplay side of the game, because I run everything in auto. But, huge W to those of you that have found this out and have been abusing the mechanic. Maybe I'll check it out in the next video. We'll do like a T5 showcase of Shia with the broken, increase your damage like crazy mechanic, right? We'll maybe take a look at that. I just enjoy the game for the character designs first and foremost. That's like my favorite part of the game. But, to each their own. If you don't like if you're for someone who's more gameplay oriented, then, kudos to you. This is a huge W from, this benefits every player, honestly, except for those that went all into Chitose and did not get Shia or don't have enough pools for Shia. Again, I do hope they actually do buff Chitose. That's the most important thing they need to mention in this paragraph. We also like to clarify that the phenomenon in question occur only under the current game environment and specific combat conditions. It may not be consistently reproduced in future content. So it seems like it's just a maybe for now type of thing, or they'll introduce mechanics in the future that stop this from happening, right? In which she'll still be a great character, mind you, right? Looking ahead, the difficulty of upcoming game modes will not be tuned around Shia's current capabilities as we continue to refine the overall balance for future content. I'm going to assume they're probably going to introduce mechanics or, elements that messes with this altogether, right? We sincerely apologize for any confusion or concern this issue may have caused. It has shown us areas where we can improve. Moving forward, we will listen to your feedback refine game systems and features, and deliver high quality content to ensure a better overall experience. Yeah, that is the best thing they could have said. I wish that they would have said they would like address, Chitose, but it seems like that in the future that content will, obviously not be in line with this version of Shia and this playstyle. So future content is not going to be to par with the amount of damage you're putting out with Shia right now with this like playstyle. But it also does mention too that in future content there may be cases where they assign a boss to a certain mechanic or a certain element or something like that, and you're just going to do less damage in general with Shia, so that other characters are more viable in said content, right? So indirectly nerfing the character is basically what this is explaining, which is like it is in every gacha game. It's not a big deal. The only issue is whenever they directly nerf and directly tune characters, if it's not a buff. Anything not a buff, in terms of a direct hit to a character, is very, very, very unnecessary. Especially nowadays in gacha games, people are spending like crazy to obtain these characters in a game, mind you, in a game where gen income, which we haven't seen yet, regarding all of this dev letter, is very, very, very minimal compared to other gacha games in the current market, right? Anyways, regarding the design of limited time content, following the release of the first limited time event, Daring Adventure, the Ghost Ship Haunts the Deep, very cute event by the way. I'm surprised we got a swimsuit event off the rip. We received numerous feedback from players regarding the event rewards design, probably because I was trying to read those two words at the same time, and stage unlocking methods. I do believe that the stage unlocking methods is a little bit aids. In the current version, the pacing of stage unlocks and the way the rewards are distributed was not clear, which affected the overall event experience. Our team has discussed this internally and is planning to implement adjustments to prevent similar issues in future events. We've also received feedback requesting more event content, and rest assured improvements are currently on the way. I think people want more event content because they want more gems. I think that is the biggest reason as to why you got that as feedback. So look at it like this. People don't actually, maybe people want events. Maybe there's some people that want events, but people want more rewards. People want more, items, in order to progress their account. People want more gems to pull more characters. That's why they're asking for more events, right? I'm not stupid, right? I'm a gacha player. I know why people want more events. They want more resources and more gems. That's the majority of people, right? The other people are just wanting events because they do like the character interactions, which is fine. There is a lot of cute character interactions in this game, and more is very nice, considering, how very chillax the game experience is in general compared to like other games. This game feels very slice of life-esque, which I like a lot. Alright, regarding other future optimizations, moreover, we continually monitor the user experience across all platforms. Since the launch, we've received feedback regarding keyboard compatibility and other control issues, and we plan to roll out improvements for smoother keyboard and mouse controls on PC in the near future. Beyond that, by the way, why do I feel like whenever I hear like a game like this being played on PC, it's like some type of omega tryhard player that's just like sweating their balls off to play this game. Like if I'm picturing somebody playing, Shia in the most optimal way right now on PC, I'm thinking of someone that is like sweating their balls off, right? Like, like shirt off, just like absolutely going in just to get some extra damage on the character. Like it's probably what it is, but it's just like I can't, man. Like I can never. It's just me. I cannot ever play a game like this and just sweat. I just can't. I don't have it in me. I just don't. And I'm not saying that to knock anyone that does play like any game like this like that. That's fine. Like I said, each their own. Like I said earlier in the video, it's just always something that's just crazy to me that I can't wrap my head around. Again, no diss to anyone that plays. Oh my gosh, because this is like directly to those players, right? I mean, in general, this helps out any player that plays on PC. So just improving the optimization is important, right? Anyways, in addition to the issues mentioned above, we have received feedback on other aspects of the game. We continue to gather feedback from all channels, whether through social media and game surveys, other sources, and we'll keep working to improve the game. Our entire operations and development team recognizes that Stella Sora still has considerable room for growth. I'm trying so hard not to laugh, and I'll explain why. We remain committed on ongoing improvements and delivering new content to enhance your experience. Thank you for your understanding and support. There's a whole paragraph, for the most part. It's a nothing burger. Because here's the thing, right? Here's the funny part, right? They say all of this, and then right after, they give you a 10 pull for the limited banner to your mail. So they're like, yeah, so we know that you know that we know, right? That the gem currency is a huge issue in the game right now for just every single player. So we're going to give you a 10 pull right now in your mail, which is compensation, obviously. And at the same time, we're not going to mention anything about the gem income issue at all. But we're going to make sure we continue to gather feedback through social media, which they see this. This is the most requested, thing right now. The most, the biggest issue players have with the game is the fact that they are having issue obtaining the characters they want on their accounts, but yet they don't directly address it in this letter. Instead, they say we're going to continue. No, you're not. You're not. Because if you were, you would have said something about it, right? Like, again, you could look at this indirectly, right? They said something about making more limited time events, which more events means more gems and more resources, which again helps progress your account, which can help you, unlock more avenues to getting more first time clear reward gems and stuff like that. And then, limited time events have their limited time, event gems, stuff like that. But aside from that, there was nothing mentioning that they're going to improve the gem income for players going forward at all. Now, with that being said, they're giving out 10 pulls out the wazoo like the game is made by the same developers as Blue Archive. So you know what? I'm going to take this 10 pull and be happy. But at the same time, it's like when is it going to actually be addressed? Right? When are they actually going to talk about the fact that the $5 monthly pass only gives you 10 pulls? Like, you can't even make this up. In other gacha games that are more expensive, right? Like Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail and When There Are Waves, you at least get 20 pulls for $5 a month, right? And I mean, you could argue that those games have a higher pity, and they also do have, don't get me wrong, right? Make no mistake, those games have a 0.5, 0.6, 0.7% chance, right? I think When There Are Waves is the highest, at like 0.7% chance to get a 5-star early on the banners, right? So, of course, you can make that argument that you'll get more characters early in Stella Sora, and there also is the 120 pity thing that is currently existing in the gacha system itself. We made a whole video on the gacha, in this game. So, obviously, I'm very keen on the gacha as of right now. I just understand that they are being as very honestly dismissive as possible about it and not even directly mentioning it, which whatever at this point. I mean, no, it's not a whatever. It's not whatever, because you should never be complacent with issues like this. I've been rambling for long enough, but all I want to mention is that, just continue to complain about it. Obviously, the biggest way to get them to give more rewards out, right, in terms of gems, is to just not spend money, because if no one is spending money, then obviously they're going to be hurting it, right? This game for them seems like is going to be a long-term cash cow, just like Blue Archive is. For Yostar is not Nexon, right? So I imagine that they want this game to be the same way. So with that being said, the easiest way for the game to change in the future in terms of gem income, right? Because that's like the thing that needs changing the most, is to just not spend money and hurt their wallets, or their pockets rather. And once that happens, they'll start to slowly roll out things to bring back players in and get the goodwill going once more, right? Well, maybe that might not even be true. Maybe players are just satisfied, JP players satisfied with the game as is, and they are just spending money like crazy. I remember the money made in the month for this game was like 3.5 million, which is not horrible considering that the game is the way it is, and there isn't really a lot to spend money on in the game. aside from gacha, or like there was like 1 to 2 skins in the game, right? And one of those skins is not even a skin that you can even show in your character in game, which is like crazy. We'll talk about that in a different video as well. But that's it. That's which, by the way, they haven't even addressed that either. That's crazy. You don't even address that your battle pass skin doesn't even actually like work in game. It's just a 2D 2D art, which is crazy. But yeah, that's it. That's the video here. I just wanted to go over that real quick. Maybe check a few comments here. No plan to change the gacha rates and monetization. Yeah, that's pretty lame. This person's laughing. I don't know why they're laughing. Ain't nothing funny. Ain't nothing funny when you lose every 50-50 in the future and you can't pull your next big boobo waifu all because the gacha system stinks. You're gonna be the first person to quit this game because the gacha system sucks and I don't have enough gems to pull the banners. Ain't nothing funny when that happens to you. I mean, this is stuff I already expected, especially considering Shia, and that's good in my opinion. It's a fun niche mechanic. What they gotta fix is the wording on the potentials. ATM Mystique summons aren't scaling properly with attack buffs. So again, I'm too out of touch to even like understand any of this. I just quite literally tap on whatever the game recommends for runs in terms of the ascension, right? Anything else? So they didn't bother about the price issue. I guess this feedback is not important. The pricing is on par with WooWa. What screwed me over is that of course people at first thought the winter pack gave blah blah 60% bonus. So here's the issue, right? Here's the issue. I think a lot of people are complaining in general about the actual gem income of the game. And in the same vein, they're like, okay, well, what's a way to improve the gem income, right? If the gem income was horrible, which it is, and the money you spend to accumulate pools wasn't as rough as it is, which is not, right? It's really rough. Then this would not be an issue that much, because then it would be more like light spender friendly, more, medium spender friendly, more dolphin friendly, but it's not. It's not even whale friendly, for being honest. Well, no, it's not even whale friendly, to being honest here, because you can sink so much money in the game and really not get a maxed out character for who knows how much money you spend on the game, right? With all the 50-50 and the pity you're going to have to reach in this game. Yeah, so I don't know. I wouldn't even consider it on par with WooWa, because like we have to address the whole monetization of the gacha system in itself, and the weapon banner is not 100% like Withering Waves. And on top of that, Withering Waves, right? If we just like talk about the fact that Withering Waves actually gives a more nice amount of pools each patch, then that kind of, again, like we're talking about something here that wouldn't even incentivize as many people to spin on the game in general, right? So yeah, that's the way I see it. Yeah, hopefully they add the female tyrant at some point to be playable. This is definitely one of their best designs in the game. And we are, maybe someday we'll play ourselves. But I am glad I chose the female tyrant, by the way. Thank goodness I did, man. Woo! I know some people probably regret that they didn't choose her, and then now they just stuck with the male MC. Which, by the way, is just very depressing, isn't it? That's the video here. Thank you for watching, and have a nice rest of your day. Or start of your day, because this video is coming out very early today. Alright, bye-bye.